Testing check 1 2. Testing check 1 2. Mickey Hart, legendary drummer for the band The Grateful Dead, said this: "In the beginning, there was noise. Noise begat rhythm, and rhythm begat everything else." Reminds me of the book of the Bible, the opening book, Genesis. The very first words say, "In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. The earth was without form and void, and darkness was over the face of the deep. The Spirit of God was hovering over the face of the waters." Noise. The earth was without form and void, and darkness covered it. Sounds like noise. But then rhythm came. Creation, formation, systems and structures. The Spirit creates order. Rhythm creates order out of noise. Mickey Hart goes on to say, "Life is about rhythm. We vibrate. Our hearts are pumping blood. We are a rhythm machine. That's what we are." You see, your body and mind have a unique rhythm. They have this cadence. And until you discover that cadence, that rhythm, that song, you'll be trying to dance to someone else's song. It's time to find your song. It's time to dance to your rhythm. This is the HaltingWinter Podcast. I'm your host, Seth Winterhalter. This week on the podcast, I'm talking about rhythms and habits. You can check out our blog at HaltingWinter.com for more insights and resources. And please subscribe to the podcast. And if you'd be so kind, please leave us a rating at Apple Podcast or wherever and on whatever platform you listen. Today's podcast is titled Finding Your Unique Rhythm. Let's dive in. Again, this week we're talking about rhythms and habits. And you might ask, well, what is the difference? When you think about the word rhythm, what are the first images that come to your mind? Is it music, the drums, or some other rhythmic instrument? Is it dancing, the ballet, the salsa? Maybe a show like Dancing with the Stars or So You Think You Can Dance. Perhaps when you hear the word rhythm, you think of an athlete, how they get into a rhythm, the way they swing a bat, the way they shoot a basketball. Maybe you think about a comedian, the way they tell a joke, that perfect comedic timing. Maybe you think about a speaker, a preacher, and that cadence, a politician, and the way they measure each word. I would argue that there is a difference between rhythm and habit. Rhythm is something you feel. It's this deep, emotional, inherent wiring. It's like the unique heartbeat that every human being has. You have a specific rhythm, and you have rhythms to your life that you need to figure out. They are specific things that will help you flourish in this life. Whereas habits, I would argue, are something you form. They're more mental. They're an intentional work of the mind. Again, rhythm is something that is inherent. When it is aligned, you feel right. It feels like you know the moves to the dance. Now, they definitely have overlap, but let's dive into the application. What does this actually look like then? What are your daily rhythms? What's your morning routine? When do you wake up? What are the first things you do in the morning that maybe you don't even think about? It could be little things like the way you brush your teeth, the way you make coffee, and the way you just sit and stare, jump on your phone, or all these kind of rhythms that you do. Maybe you have a work routine. You arrive at the office and, well, in 2022, because of COVID, maybe you don't go to the office. You go to your desk in your house. You turn on the computer in your PJs. All kinds of new rhythms now. How do you start your day? How do you stop your day? What inspires you? How do you get inspired? How do you waste time? What's the routine when you get home? How do you relax? How do you unwind? What does your dinner look like? Is that with family? Is it on your own? What's your evening time look like? Do you watch the TV, certain shows? Do you have a certain rhythm that you do to find a show? Do you read a book? Do you have a certain rhythm you do? In the summer, you go outside, sit on the back patio. You have people over. What are the rhythms of your life? Not just the things that you intentionally plan and strategize for and think of. I need good rhythms. I need good habits. I got to get rid of these bad habits. What are just the rhythms? And that's why I want to talk about this. I think that there are things that are being portrayed as bad habits and good habits that I'm not sure are fit everyone. Like, you think about Jocko Willink. Jocko, right? He's known for his daily wake up Instagram post at 4:30 a.m. And he's caused a lot of people to start to wake up early. And that can be a real good thing, because sleeping in and not having a good rhythm, not having plans and schedules and just being lazy, that's not good. But what if you're a night owl? What if your greatest inspiration hits at night? What if the morning isn't the most productive time for you to write or for you to think creatively? Maybe you need to roll into your morning a little differently. There are all kinds of rhythms. And the issue is, when you try to force yourself into someone else's rhythm, you're going to look awkward, right? You ever tried to dance to a new dance? You have no idea what the moves are. Everyone else is doing the shuffling and the line moving, and you're just looking like a fool. It's because it doesn't fit. Now, again, this has become very popular, right? Even today, I looked, right? Benjamin Smith, he's the founder of Let's Disco Skin, I think is the name of it. It's a skincare for men. Benjamin Smith, a good follow. And he put today's post, he said something about, these are my daily habits. These are the things I can't live without. One of them was, 14-hour fast, and I can't remember all the rest. All these things. Dickie Bush, he's the ship30for30.com guy. Love to follow him. He did this a couple days ago. Same thing. Like, I got to do something cold. Got to do a cold bath. Got to have my coffee. He said espresso. He's got these things. And again, maybe those are where he's found his rhythm. But the issue is when you go, oh, if I just implement these things, then I'll be like them. These things have become non-negotiables for them. So the question is, are they just habits that they had to form, or are they rhythms? Are they actually making them? I would say for Dickie, he's probably enjoying that espresso. He's not going, oh man, I got to have this habit. No one needs espresso. Sounds like an enjoyable thing. Again, your rhythms are the things that just like they click. Are they habits? Are they rhythms? Are they both? Again, here's where I see the difference. If something's not working in your life, if you're trying to force a habit and it's not working, and if it's a good habit, right? You look at Jocko Willink and go, man, I want to take advantage of my mornings. Great. You try to get up at 4:30. It's just not working. I remember reading probably a year ago, someone tried to, I can't remember if it was doing the Jocko Willink 4:30, or maybe people try this all the time. I'm going to follow, the Rock's diet, or I'm going to do this and this. I'm going to follow some famous person's daily routine, and they do it and they sabotage, they hate it, and they jump off the bandwagon. It's because it's not you. Again, can you take truths? Can you take some elements of that and see if it works? And I'm sure there's something good about it. But that's not your clothes. That's not your skin. That's not the way you were wired. Maybe some of it is. That's why we test. Right? Rhythms are things that we test. Habits are more, they're good habits, they're bad habits, they're habits that maybe are good, but they're not getting us to where we actually want to go. We'll talk about this Thursday, habits. But rhythms are where you just find you. You got to find you. For me, I'm not a 4:30 a.m. get up guy. That's, and I know it's not just because I can't do it. I could if I wanted to. Could I train my body? Sure, I probably could. But I've just found, and I've gotten up all sorts of times, I've just found for me that I sleep the hardest from 3 a.m. to 5:30 a.m. And I mean, I sleep hard. I'm a very light sleeper up until about 3. And after 6 a.m., again, very light sleeper. Any noise in the house is going to wake me up. But man, from 3 a.m. to 5:30 a.m., those 2.5 hours is like something's going on in my body where I'm getting some deep, deep sleep then. Doesn't matter when I go to bed either. Those 2.5 hours. So for me, I can read Jocko and go, I got to do 4:30. Well, I'm sabotaging right in the middle of my best hours of sleep. Why would I do that? Why would I do that? You got to start thinking about your rhythms. You got to, first, to do this, you got to identify your current rhythms. Write them out. When do you go to bed? And if you are really sporadic in how you go to bed, sometimes it's 9, sometimes it's 10, sometimes it's midnight, sometimes it's 2 a.m., I would just encourage you to have more rhythms. See, I think the human body also craves rhythms. We see this in young children, right? The children, I've been around a lot of young parents in my 20 years of my career. A lot of young parents and a lot of young children. And the children I see that are the worst behaved, and behaved, I don't mean like they're crazy rebellion. Again, they're like 2 and under. I'm talking about kids that just are emotional basket cases, are the kids that have no rhythms. It's the parents who put them to bed whenever they want and wake them up whenever, let them wake up whenever they want. Like there's no structure. And those are the kids that are the most chaotic. Most, again, it's not all, but most of the kids that have a consistent bedtime and a consistent wake-up time don't have that stuff. Their body craves rhythm. And when you don't give them rhythm, and that's not just for children, that's for us, adults as well, you need rhythms. Your body craves rhythms. And so give it rhythms. Find out when you sleep the best. And test it. I'm gonna test going to bed at 10. I'm going to test going to bed at 9. I'm going to test getting up at 6. I'm going to test getting up at 5. How's my body feel? And don't just do it one day. Do it for 3. Do it for 5. 3 to 5 should tell you exactly. Test it out. See what works. Is 7 hours of sleep the best? Is 8 hours of sleep? For me, 7 hours is best. If I get 8, the danger is for me, anything over 8, and I just turn into a hot mess. So my day is shot. I can't think right. I'm just lethargic. Too much sleep. Anything under 5.5, and I just feel like I didn't get enough. I'm just constantly tired then. So I'm either a mess because I've had too much, or I'm tired and I'm dragging. So I know I got to get more than 5.5, and I got to get no more than 8. So 7, perfect. Let's shoot for 7. So for me, I know I stereotypically go to bed between 10:30 and 11. I'm in bed by 10:30 or 11, and I'm asleep predominantly by 11:15. And then I'm up at 6, between 6 and 6:15. And I don't wake up to an alarm. 6 a.m., between 6 and 6:10, I'm usually up. Again, I start sleeping pretty light after 5:30, 5:45 a.m., so all I need to do is hear a bird, hear something outside, and I'm up. And so again, I think your natural rhythms, when are you naturally tired, when do you naturally wake up, those are the best. If you have to get up to an alarm every day, something's wrong. That's probably a sign that you're out of rhythm. When do you get up? So identify these current rhythms, write them out. When do you go to bed? When do you get up? What are those morning rhythms? What do they look like? You may even have rhythms that you're not even aware of. You just do them. Right? I need 2 cups of coffee. Well, do you? I mean, maybe it's a good rhythm. Maybe you enjoy that rhythm. Awesome. Nothing wrong with it. But do you feel the best? I was drinking, I usually drink at least a cup of coffee in the morning. I don't need it. It's just a nice habit. It's just, I like to drink something in the morning. Usually I start my day with a glass of water, my vitamins, get my fish oil, get my vitamin D, get my zinc, get my, whatever else it is. I have one more in there. Full glass of water, vitamins, and then a cup of coffee while I'm scrolling, doing my posting, social media interaction. And I tried some new coffee creamer the other day, and it just tore me up. Just did not, I knew the moment I drank it, the moment I had the first sip of coffee, I was like, this ain't gonna be good. This does not feel good. And I just felt horrible for like 2 hours. And I thought, oh, was it that? I knew it was it, but you know how you question. You're like, was it? Maybe I'm dealing with some stress. So the next day, same thing. Next day, same thing. Okay, it's been 3 days. I know, we got to throw that thing out. So you have to, right? Are you aware? Are you aware of what you're putting in your body? Are you aware of the rhythms? And like, again, is being on the phone the first thing in the morning, is that best for you? I hear a lot of people, oh, you can't take time to meditate in the morning. Hey, maybe. Is meditation, prayer, quiet, solitude, is that a good way to start the morning? Sure, it could be. Could jumping on your phone and interacting and posting, could that be a good way too? Sure, why not? Like, again, I just have a hard time when people are like, this is wrong, this is bad. Obviously, there are some things that are bad. Starting your morning with smoking a pack of cigarettes and cussing out your neighbors, that's probably not going to put you in a good mood. That's probably, I don't know, you'd have to really help me see the benefits of how that is helping you health-wise, how that's helping you stress-wise, how that's helping you community-wise, how you're bringing joy to the earth, and that just looks like an obvious no. But some of these others, I think we got to be careful how we're coming to those conclusions, because different people are differently wired, right? An extrovert craves connection first thing in the morning. So you think they're going to enjoy? That's why I hear, I've had people, again, in my line of work, they'll come to me and, man, I really struggle. My morning rhythms, I feel like I should have quiet and solitude, and I should, first thing in the morning, it's so hard. I just have a hard time focusing. I have a hard time. Okay. Maybe what you need is some stimulation. You need some extroverted connection. Man, social media is a great way. Maybe first thing in the morning, maybe the way you have solitude is you're actually thinking of others. You're thinking about, man, how can I do good today? And maybe you're walking through your contact phone list and you're texting some people, man, I'm thinking about you. I hope you have a great day today. So you're feeding that extrovert connectivity without having to go to a party first thing in the morning. Creating your own digital party. There are just so many ways we need to think out of the box and be careful not to put yourself into whatever is popular, and again, a lot of it, why I brought up the two guys that I did, Benjamin Smith and Dickie Bush, I think those guys are pretty solid guys. What I read from them on Twitter is pretty solid. But there's a lot of other people that aren't solid. They're just trying to create content, to make themselves feel better about themselves. Like, look at me, look at my rhythms, look how awesome I am. When they're not even doing it, right? They're just got to be careful. There's a lot of self-righteousness going on, a lot of identity seeking, worth, validation going on. And I just want you to be careful that you're not caught up in that same rat race. Instead, you're being intentional, going, hey, maybe there's some good things there. Maybe that helps me evaluate. What did I say is the first thing? Identify your current rhythms, because you might not even know what your current rhythms are. You're just doing them. You're just caught up in the stream, dancing the dance to whatever music's playing, instead of going, is this my music? Is this really healthy? Is this invigorating? How does this make me feel? Again, if rhythms are feeling, how are the rhythms and routines of your day making you feel? And how might you test them to make them feel better? How are your morning rhythms? How are your work rhythms? What do you do when you get in the car and you drive to work? Do you listen to a podcast? Do you listen to music? Do you sit there in silence? And whatever you do, have you tried something else? Maybe it's not the best thing. Maybe something else would inspire you for the day instead of what you're doing. What are your rhythms at home? All kinds of opportunities. And then, so the first thing is we identify our current rhythms, write them down, really be noticeable of what your day looks like in the rhythms of your day. Second, evaluate their effectiveness. How do they make you feel? how can you test and try new things that might help you find the beat and the pulse, might form the music that you can truly dance to. And then third, try those new rhythms. Again, sometimes those new rhythms that we have need to be broken. They're unhealthy rhythms. They're someone else's rhythms. We might need to think through other rhythms. We might need to form those rhythms. We might need to form some habits to get us off of the trail that we're on onto a different trail. Rhythms are about finding your groove, finding the way you're wired. Again, I told you I like getting up at 6 a.m. It just feels natural. I like to jump into work first thing. I don't like to meditate. I don't like to, it's not inspiring to me. It's not motivating to me. I like to do that later in my day. I like to jump in, to interact, right? Reading is not the first thing. That comes later in the afternoon. I want to read, I want to meditate, I want to just slow down and get a moment of solitude. Way better for me, way more productive for me to do that in my afternoon than to do it first thing in the morning. What about you? What about you? So think through those rhythms. Think through your morning, think through your work, your day, your evening, the way you rest, the way you relax. And how can you then test and make sure that the rhythms of your life are the best, are the ones that are going to have you enjoy your day. No matter what comes your way, your rhythm's already setting you up for success, setting you up to feel good about this life that you live. Rhythms. Find them. Test them. Try new things. No matter what, find the music that moves you. Until next time.